back to another episode of the R to the J podcast. And today we have a special guest named Meli. Meli is here today we're going to talk about like your everyday living, the struggles, how life is going, the beat down that we take, and how we can manage it and help each other out. How you doing, Meli?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could make it. I know the guest coordinator or the manager, Sandy, was able to come.
Yeah, thanks for the invite to, come and do this. I feel honored, that she asked me to come do this. And I think that, well, like you were saying, what we were talking about earlier about the struggles of everyday life now. Mm-hmm. How it's so hard, even with two people to be able to make ends meet and just, try to support our families. So as a single parent, single mother, single father, whatever, it makes it even harder to, or even, the elderly people.
Oh, yeah.
That are getting older is like, hard to think about how they're doing, making it to survive, if it's hard for us and we're younger, it's
I could imagine the older elderly people, especially if they don't have their kids to help them take care as they get older, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it harder for them. So I could see this generation where they're not having kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're not gonna have nobody when they get older, you know what I mean? When they get 60, 70, 80 years old, they're gonna be by themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up because, me, I got married when I was 17, had my daughter when I was 18. My oldest daughter, she's 23 now. And right now, she might start thinking about having kids, but, I don't even think it crossed her mind at the same age that I, had her.
Yeah.
So that's a good point that you make because a lot of the new generation, they are like that. Like they're not having kids. They're waiting to get married. They're waiting. And I think that they think about stuff now. Like they think about their futures. They think about them having to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is a completely different world that we live in now because back then we're not worried about that. Yeah. We're just in love.
Yeah.
We're just.
You having a kid? Okay, we'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of pressure, as it is now because even the younger kids, like I said, my daughter, she'll be talking to me about stuff and saying like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out about this, I'm stressed out about that, I have to pay this, I have to pay that. Those weren't things that I was stressed out about, at her age. Mm-hmm. And these are single people that are already having these issues, they're already having to go through that stress.
Yeah, pretty much requiring a lot of things, you know what I mean? Or materialistic stuff, you know what I mean? Things that we really don't need, but we just see it every day that, they have that, let me go get that, let me get a better version of that. Let me get the new iPhone 14 or 15, whatever it comes out, you know what I mean?
And, now it's not even about that. It's not even about having just trying to buy food. It's so expensive trying to buy groceries for your family or even just your mortgage payment is so high. It's like...
Yeah, like I said, everything has gone up inflation because it's like we lost 25% of the value of our dollars pretty much in the last 25% because just how much money they printed out, the trillions of dollars, and people can't imagine how much money $1 trillion is.
Yeah.
I think it equals up to seconds over 1,000 years. 1 trillion, and we're like $35 trillion in debt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I don't know, how it's gonna get in the future, but I mean it's pretty bad right now. Like you said, even with two people working full-time jobs, having good jobs, it's still hard to make it.
Oh yeah, especially if you want to have a very comfortable life as well too. Now, I guess you could downgrade and stuff like that, but do you really want to downgrade most of the time, you know what I mean?
I mean, like, my kids, 12, 14, I do. Like, I'm like, they have a few more years that they'll probably live with me. And, I mean, they say they're going to stay with me forever. Like, longer.
Yeah, take care of me when I get older then.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think once they grow and follow whatever, goals they have, I think I would want something smaller that I don't have to be stressed out about. Or, like they say, keeping up with the Joneses. I've never been a materialistic person like that, but I have worked hard for what I have to provide for my children.
Yeah. Okay, so who is Meli?
Well, my name's Melissa Castro. I was born in Eagle Pass, and then we lived in Crystal City, but it was just, a small town, so it didn't have a hospital. That's why I was born in Eagle Pass. I moved to Port Arthur when I was 12 years old, and we've lived here ever since, except I moved to Baytown about 3 years ago.
How do you like Baytown? Or how was that shift right there?
It was hard at first because all my family lives over here in Port Arthur. Like all my dad's family, my parents, my sisters, and even my oldest daughter. She stayed over here when I moved, and so it was a hard transition. But I feel like it was something that I needed to do for my life at that moment.
Do you think it probably helped you grow?
It did.
Yeah, because I was in the same situation when I got my engineering degree, and I didn't have no experience in the oil field. I had more experience in the automotive field, so I had to move to Birmingham, Alabama to get my first job as an engineer. Because over there, they have a lot of automotive cars over there, or companies, manufacturing companies.
Yeah.
Like they have Honda dealers, Honda manufacturing over there, Toyota, Mazda, Mercedes, Hyundai. A lot for Alabama.
Yeah.
There's a story why they had that, but me moving out there, it helped me grow as a person, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know nobody as well too.
Yeah.
And every time I went out to the bar scene over there, it was kind of weird because, down here, we're so diverse for a small community. You go to Dillon's, like, for example, which I always go to. You're going to see white, black, Asian, Hispanics, Middle Easterns, all kinds.
Yeah.
When I went down there in Birmingham, it was just literally just white and black. That's it. Most of the time, I was the only Hispanic person there. Maybe I seen one Asian girl there the whole time. So that was very interesting.
Yeah. Well, like in Crystal City is by the border. It's close to the border. So it's mostly Hispanics over there. Everybody talks Spanglish. And now I think there's more white people over there, but there was like one black family there. So when I came over here, it was like a big, eye-opener to see Asians. Like I never would have thought,
What were those? I see them in movies.
and so it was just like a whole different scenery. Like I said, Port Arthur was the big city to me. I don't like the big city. Like Houston, San Antonio, I couldn't live there. I don't like the big city, but Port Arthur was the big city to me.
I can't. I used to live in San Francisco, so I know. Well, luckily I didn't have to drive over there when I was that young. You know what I mean? So, but when I still got my dad's side family lives out there, so every once in a while I go out there and have to drive or whatever, and that traffic.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is probably the worst, I'd say.
No, I don't like big cities. So Baytown, I like Baytown. I didn't think it was as big as it is. I thought it was just Buc-ee's. Like you just pass and see Buc-ee's, and I thought that's all it was.
Which everybody from here always got to stop at Buc-ee's, right, guys?
I stop at every Buc-ee's I see, like San Antonio, Katy, wherever. But yeah, Baytown has a lot of Hispanics there. And I like that you can go to Houston. I could go from my house to downtown Houston in 30 minutes. I'll be there in 30 minutes, but I don't have to deal with the traffic and the big city.
Yeah. That's good. At least you're close enough, but you're not that close.
Yeah, and then I'm about an hour away from my family, so I come every weekend over here to Port Arthur.
Oh, okay.
And I come to church over here on Sunday, so.
Oh, dang. So every weekend, pretty much.
Every weekend, just about.
Yeah, but it's not that long of a drive too, you know what I mean? So.
No, and then sometimes during the week I'll work over here.
Oh, okay.
At the Niederling Clinic. So.
And what does it do, anyways?
I work at an occupational medicine clinic where they do physicals, drug screens. fit testing, all kind of different stuff for the refinery workers.
Oh, okay. So fit testing, like I said, you have to be clean shaved to pass, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
If they pass you, well, you have beard, you didn't really pass.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. But you do any side hustling and stuff like that?
I do. So right now I do. I'm doing hair. On the weekends, I'll come over here and do hair because I know everybody over here. You know, I don't know a lot of people in Baytown, but I'll do braiding.
Okay. So no cutting and stuff like that. Just
I do cut and then color as well, but since I don't have a place yet, I try to stay away from that for now. But so mostly I do braiding, updos, hairdos, extensions.
Yeah. And this is something you plan to do when you move back down here, right?
Yes, it's something that I plan to do permanently, open up my own business.
Okay, so it's gonna be your full-time job at that
Eventually, that's what I want to get to.
Okay. Any name you have picked out?
I don't. So right now, I use Melissa Hair Designs just because, you know, for the people that know me, it's easier for them to know who it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's easier to advertise that way. Once I open up my own business, then I plan to rename the business. I just don't have a name yet.
Okay. But you have a Facebook account, right?
I do.
Page.
I do. I have Melissa Hair Designs. And I have, you know, some of my work that I've done is on there.
Okay.
And then
if anything, I could link your information in there, so that way, if any of the viewers want to hit you up, they can just contact you right there.
Yeah. So I get a lot of people, you know, reaching out to me throughout the week. That way I can do their hair on the weekends. And sometimes, mostly with people I know, if I come work over here during the week, then after work, I'll go do their hair.
Oh, okay. And I'm guessing all this hairstylist you do is a lot of people doing it for like special occasions, weddings, stuff like that. Or?
Yeah, the ones on the weekend are mostly for weddings, quinceañeras. So I'll have them lined up. I either go to their house because, you know, it makes it easier for them, or they go to my sister's house because she does makeup too. So
you got it right there, you know. Because
she does makeup.
A photographer and all that stuff. You know?
She does makeup. She's an esthetician, so she does facials and all that as well. So, I mean, once I move over here and open my own business, like, I don't know, maybe we could even get together and, you know, make it something bigger. Yeah,
and I'm guessing summertime is probably kind of busy for you.
It's always busy.
It's always busy?
Yeah, it is. And then sometimes it's tiring because, you know, I work my regular job and then I don't want to say no to people because, you know, that's how you're going to build the relationships. That's how you're going to, if I need them as customers, I need to be there when they need me.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes it's tiring because it feels like it's nonstop.
Okay.
But I always tell myself in the end, it's going to be worth it.
Okay. Now I'll probably go through your page and stuff like that and just kind of get some of the pictures and put it on the screen right there so some people could see, oh, I like that design. I want that one. You know?
Yeah.
That'd be fun right there. Okay. And I know we talked about like how hard it is for us, it's for everybody, you know. So what kind of support are you getting right now?
Right now, you know, I'm very grateful for my family, my friends, you know, my boyfriend. They're all very supportive. Anything that I need, sometimes they don't want to do it, but they, you know, is because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And even, you know, whether they want to do it or not, they're there. They support me, and even when I don't want to do it, you know, when I'm tired, when I don't want to show up, they push me. They give me that push that I need. I did an event 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
It was a beauty expo show that, you know, they invited me to attend to.
Here in Port Arthur, or?
It was in Groves.
In Groves?
In Groves. And I almost didn't go because, you know, I was so tired and then my family kept asking me, like, so are you ready for the show? Are you ready? You got everything ready? And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. It's like, what do you mean you're not gonna go? Like, you're gonna go. So, my mom, she always decorates for me. Anytime I have any events, she decorates. So it's like, everybody in my family does something, right? So she decorates for me, and she's the one that always helps me any events that I have. She goes with me so I can, when I'm doing hair, if I need something else, she's there, going back and forth. And like I said, my boyfriend, he'll be taking stuff for me, taking stuff back, or doing all the heavy work. That by the time I'm done, like, I'm tired, I don't want to do any of it. And he does that. And then my kids too, they could be like, oh, you're never around, or say something, but they're always there supporting as well.
Yeah.
My oldest, she's already an adult, so she
has her own life pretty much.
She does, but she's always there, to support too. Always encourages me. And, I was young when I had her, so now I feel like, sometimes they're like, oh, are y'all sisters? And she gets mad, but I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds pretty good that you have a good support system going on right there. That should help out a lot.
Yeah.
I can see why you want to move back to Port Arthur, because everybody is here that you love,
Yeah, not everyone has that. Like, it's not, I'm blessed to be able to have that, because not everyone has that support from their family, or, that push, that extra push that you really need to be able to accomplish something like that.
So you say your whole family, that means your whole family, like your mom and your father?
My parents, my
yeah.
sisters, their families, and all my dad's family, my uncles and aunts, they all live in Port Arthur.
Oh, really?
Well, in this area.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that, you get like I see why you want to move back.
Yeah.
Like me, like my dad, all that side of the family lives in San Francisco. So every once in a while I'll go back over there and visit, you know what I mean? I used to like visiting there all the time, but you know how everything's going on over there, so it's kind of crazy right now over there. I'm gonna wait till it probably gets better or whatever. And then like some of my mom's side family lives in Houston, so every once in a while I get to go over there and visit them, whatever.
Yeah.
And then other side of my mom's family lives in Salvador, so recently went to go visit them for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big change.
That was exciting.
Oh yeah, we had a great time. Especially the only reason I went, like, to everybody, that's because of Bukele, how he changed the country around, which is actually the safest country in the Western Hemisphere compared to what it used to be. That's a big change right there.
That's good.
So why did you accept the invite?
Well, when Sandy told me, I was a little hesitant at first, because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk.
But you do talk with it, but you're like, okay, I don't know. Not in front of the camera.
Yeah, because I'm pretty shy, but I do talk a lot.
Yeah, it just depends who you're around, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I talk a lot. But
yeah, I guess that's why Sandy's here in the background right there, kind of supporting right here.
Yeah. But I wanted to be able to come on here and talk about it, because just for encouragement for everyone, like men, women, but mostly for single mothers that are out there, struggling, trying to do their best to raise their children on their own, give them the best that we can. Maybe back in the day it was harder for women, to be able to support a family the same way as men, but now it's a little easier, right? It's more even, but it's still really hard, because like right now I have my job, my regular job, that I work 40 hours or more sometimes. It's supposed to be part-time, but it's supposed to be a part-time job, but I work 40 hours or more right now. And then still on the weekends, I still do hair. And like I said, sometimes during the week, I'll work at my regular job and still do hair after. Yeah. Now, Sundays I go to church over here in Port Arthur. I still got to go home and clean. I still got to feed my children. I still got to get groceries. I still got to wash clothes. So it's so hard to be able to do all of that and not feel like a failure. Feel like a failure because I didn't wash clothes. My clothes is in baskets, clean, but it's in baskets.
Hold on a second. Don't trip over the cord.
knock everything
Yeah,
down.
I know. Off in the middle, underneath the word. I mean the lettering. Yeah. Oh, the numbers. Yeah. There you go.
Don't fuck with
Yeah,
me,
no.
go laugh.
Yeah. It'll probably get caught and recorded too. Okay, where were we at? Where? Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's, a struggle for us to be able to juggle everything at the same time and still be supportive to our kids, because sometimes we work so hard to give them everything and we forget about like their emotional side that we still have to take care of, right? Their spiritual side. Mm-hmm. To me, that's very important. Yeah. That is something that no matter how busy I am, that I want them to know God. Yeah. Right? That they have someone to turn to when I'm not there, when they feel like nobody's around. I'm as the leader of my family right now, I have to be the one to teach them that, and to make sure that they know that.
Now you say you have 3 girls, or is it 2 girls?
I have 2 girls and a boy.
Oh, okay.
And
so you have to raise them kind of differently, right? Because you raise up the girls differently than boys. Because boys, I guess you gotta be more tougher on the boys. You know what I mean?
Even with the girls, I feel like I was a different mother to my oldest child, because they're 9 years apart. From one to the other. I was very strict with her. Like everything was like, all her toys were educational. Like she couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. Like, you can't talk too loud. I was very strict with her. Mm-hmm. The other 2, I was like more lenient. Yeah. I still discipline them. Like, they can't act crazy or anything.
Of course. Yeah.
But I explain things to them. Yeah. I want them to know things. Like, I don't want them to just, oh, well, she told me to do it, I have to do it. No, I'm telling you why. And even personal things, that we never talked about as growing up, I talk to them about it because I think the more the safer you'll be. Because now you have the knowledge about something and you can make a better choice about it. Yeah. So, and I think that as mothers, sometimes fathers, they're not the same, right? Emotionally.
Yeah, it has to be different,
Yeah, it does.
Balance. You have the balance in that.
When I got divorced for a while, I was like anti-man. Like, I
don't
care what man it was. Like, men are all the same.
Toxic masculinity, like and all that stuff. Huh?
Yeah, like it was bad because of the experience I had. Mm-hmm. So it took me a long while actually, many years to be able to get over that. And to be able to forgive, let it go. Because if you don't forgive, you know how they say, oh, you're forgiving more for yourself than for them. It's true.
It is true, yeah.
It sounds corny, but it's very true.
Yeah, but also you can't forget as well, too.
No, you can. Hopefully you learn, for your next relationship or whatever, your next situation. But yeah, I had to learn to get over that, and I think that made me a better person, more understanding. Because before, if I would have came on this podcast, I would, no, this is only for women. Like, my encouragement is only for women, and that's how I felt,
Yeah.
But now it's like I don't have that hurt anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guys could go through that as well too, because then say, "Oh man, screw all the women. They're trash and all that stuff." Well, sometimes you could pick the wrong women, or as a woman, you could pick the wrong guy. You know what I mean? It could happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like I said, I really wanted to come on here and tell women, single women especially. Mm-hmm. That, when I was going through it, when I felt like at the lowest of my life, when I couldn't do it, when I felt like a failure about everything, about my kids, about my job, about everything.
So you were in a depressed mode?
I was very depressed. And, the thing is, you still have to do it. You still
Yeah.
have to get up and go to work. You still have to get up and pretend like nothing's going on for your kids. You still gotta, you can sit there and cry at night in your room, thrown on the floor, and the next day you gotta get up, get your kids, act happy, just do it. Yeah, so I just want to encourage, women that are out there struggling or feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you can't do it or like a failure, Like I said, when I was going through it, I just wanted someone to tell me it's gonna be okay. I would pray about it. Like I would literally pray like, God, please send me someone that's just gonna say, hey, it's gonna be okay. That's all I needed to hear. And I wouldn't hear it. So now every chance I have, whether, if I get that feeling like I should tell this person, that I tell them, like, you know what, it gets better. I know you feel like you're at the bottom, like nothing's going right, like you can't do it. It does get better.
Yeah. So
with time.
You think since you went through it, you kind of could see other people who may be going through it, but they don't want to say anything?
Oh yeah, because a lot of times, we have to go through life pretending like everything's okay.
Yeah, everybody. I want to say everybody has problems.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Everybody has problems, and sometimes I don't like to bother people. Now, I've had to teach myself to ask for help. Before, and that's one of the reasons that I struggled a lot, because I wouldn't ask for help.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me. I don't want to bother anybody. This is my problem. I don't want people suffering because of my problem. And that was my mentality that I had. I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
So I tried.
I'm the same way too.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that God gave us a family for a reason, and I'm willing to help people in whatever they need, but it was hard for me to ask for the same help.
Yeah.
So that was something that I literally have to tell myself, hey, no, you're gonna ask them for this because you need it, and you're just gonna ask them for it because they keep offering it. If you need anything, let me know. If you need me to help you with your kids, let me know.
Yeah. And some people will actually feel appreciated that, oh, she asked me to want to help you. They will want to know that they're actually wants and needed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that that I just want women to know. Men and women, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Things might be good. When things are good, we have to enjoy it. We have to enjoy it to the max.
Yeah.
Because it might get bad again. But when it's bad, it's not gonna last forever. We just gotta hang on, until it gets better.
Yeah, just like the weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't enjoy the sun unless you have the rainy days as well. So,
Yeah.
So you got any plans, or what do you think God planned for you?
Well, I as humans, sometimes we have a plan for us, and it's a little plan, right? Like something, I can't have a big old goal because I'm not that big, or I'm nobody. I will say that without God, I am nobody. God has opened doors for me that is like, wow. I was working at the refineries in 2022, I think, and I worked there for about a year and a half.
It's tough work, right?
It
there.
is.
Yeah.
I was a forklift driver,
Oh.
the heavy machinery forklift driver. Yeah, I learned how to do it there, and then that's what I was doing, and I was thinking it's too cold. Like when it's cold, it's too cold.
Oh, when it's
And
hot, it's really hot
When
too.
it's hot, it was fine, but when it was cold, I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't.
See, I could deal with the cold, but when it gets hot,
No. Yeah, so I was like, there's something, I need to do something else. I almost tried to get my certification for like a crane operator or something, but so I got laid off. I was on unemployment for, I don't remember how many months. So my unemployment was gonna end at the end of November last year. So I was stressing out. I was like, I haven't found a job. I had started school online class. I did 2 online classes, so I was doing that. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I kept applying for jobs, and then I was like, if I apply for a job, like, I'm not gonna be able to go to school. And it was just chaotic. I was stressed to the max. I was ready to give up on everything. So then I was like, why am I stressing out? Like, God, you have helped me through so many things like that I never thought I was gonna make it out of.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I trying to do things on my own? And then I prayed and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna look for any jobs. I'm not gonna look for a job. Whatever job you have for me, they're gonna call me.
And it happened like that.
Like, I want them to call me if that's the job you have for me.
Did it happen like that?
Yeah,
It did?
they texted me. My boss now, he texted me and he started to tell me about this job. You know, I had already worked for different clinics before. And to this day, I don't know who told him about me, because we had worked together years before, but I was like the front desk girl.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't know that, you know, I had already became supervisor at the other clinics, and this is with no education, like no certifications, no nothing.
Well, he probably saw something in you to give the opportunity then.
Yeah, and so he texted me, right? And even then, I was like, okay, God, like, is it really like that job, or am I just, you know, taking it like it's that? And I was like, if they pay me this much an hour, which I've never gotten paid that much an hour in any job, I don't even qualify to get paid that much. If they pay me this much an hour, I'm gonna know that that's the job that you have for me. I know that this is you. Like, it's not a mistake. It's not me in my mind making it up. I'm gonna know it's you. And then they pay me that much. He said, oh yeah, you know, I have to talk to HR. I can't make the decision on my own, but send me your resume and I'll try to get you that. Like 2 days later, he was like, all right, well, they accept it. So do you accept the job? And then I was still like, well, it's because I was going to start school, and I don't know, you know, I'm going to school half a day. And he was like, it's okay, you can come half a day to work. He's like, those hours that you'll be here, we'll make good use of you. So he's like, come on now. Like, this is nothing that I could have done, because I'm not that great, you know? But yeah, they let me go to school half a day, go to work the other half. I was still making enough money to pay my bills. And then that job was supposed to start like mid-December, right? So my unemployment was ending at the end of November. For some reason, the other company that was in there left early. So we had to start at the end of November working. I never missed a check. I never missed, you know, a week of money.
Yeah.
So if that ain't God,
Yeah.
you know, setting things in motion for me, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you never know. So any final advice you have for the viewers, you think? You can help them?
I just want to say that if you have a goal, any plans, like, don't think small. Always think bigger, because God has put in my heart, in my mind, to, you know, eventually when I move back over here, open up my own hair business. Once I get that going and, you know, start knowing how to run that correctly, I would want to open another business and, you know, spread out different businesses, even in Mexico. I just got my Mexican citizenship.
Oh, really?
Maybe this past year. So I do have big plans, you know, not that they're my plans, but I feel like God has great things for me and for my children. And because I want to, as the oldest child, you know, my parents didn't have boys. So I feel like responsible for my parents as they get older. My kids, I want them, you know, to have secure jobs my family, friends, anybody, that might need help that's around me. I want to be able to help them.
Yeah. At least the grandparents got their grandsons now,
Yeah.
huh?
It took a while,
Yeah,
but
took a while.
after three granddaughters,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
they finally had a grandson.
They only have one or
No, they have a few.
a few? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So they're
3 or
enjoying that right
4.
now, I bet.
Yeah. So just dream big.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It definitely is not easy, but you can do it.
Yeah. But they heard it for something like about if you dream small or if you hit your target, you dream too small.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, if you just say, "Hey, I can only jump up to here," you jump up to there. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe say, I could jump over here, and you already passed that little thing that you thought you could only get to.
Yeah.
You have to dream big.
Mm-hmm. And I forgot who said this, but they said, do you know where's the most richest place in the world?
What is it?
The graveyard.
Uh,
Just because
Yeah.
of people who never put into action of what they really want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So we have to work for the rest of our lives, right?
Yeah.
We have to work for the rest of our lives. If there's something that you love, that you're passionate about, I think that you should work towards that. If it brings you money and you're able to do it and
Yeah.
you love it, it's not gonna be like a job.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. You could work for somebody as an employee or for yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. And one thing that I always think about is success is different for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not always about money, having the biggest house, having the biggest car. If your success was having this show, and you have your show now, right? You didn't have it back then. You have it now. You already are successful because you already have this. If my dream, my goal is to have my business, when I reach that goal, that first goal, I'm already successful. I might not be a millionaire, but I am successful.
Yeah. And I said this in my other podcast too, because I like to bring it up. But even if you're a stay-at-home mom, and you're taking care of the kids, you're taking care of your husband, I think you're successful there as well, too.
It is, because I think one of our biggest success, at least for me, is raising my kids. Raising them to be good people in this world.
It's crazy
Yeah.
country right now.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
going on right now.
Yeah, I think the most successful thing that we can do in our lives is, if you have kids, is raise them to be good people.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging on and watching the whole episode. If you guys like, comment, subscribe, help out the channel. I'll link up Meli's hair place and put some photos of her what she does, so that way you guys go follow her and then get her to do your hair. Even guys too, right?
Yeah, I do guys braids as
Oh,
well.
really too? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get my hair that long.
Yeah. Can add hair in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, but thank you for having me here, and I really enjoyed this time. Thank you, Sandy, for inviting me to come and do this today.
No, appreciate you coming, okay? All right, take it easy, guys. Bye.